School choice legislation has hit a major milestone. It's February 27th, 2025.
Texas Scorecard presents the day's first news for the Lone Star State. The Texas Minute, with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.
I'm Brandon Waltons, again filling in for Michael Quinn Sullivan. He'll be back tomorrow. For the first time, a majority of members of the Texas House back a school choice proposal. With this school choice proposal, House Bill 3, reaching a historic milestone yesterday, a majority of members have signed on as co-authors. HB 3 by Representative Brad Buckley would establish an education savings account program, providing approximately $10,000 per child. Because the House budget and Senate budget have both allocated about $1 billion for the school choice program in its first year, this means it would apply to around 100,000 Texas students. Governor Greg Abbott, who made school choice a legislative priority, called the milestone a remarkable achievement for parents and educators. Now get this, none of the House co-authors are Democrats. A similar measure was passed earlier this month out of the Texas Senate. No Democrats voted for the measure. Just days after a series of Republican-backed resolutions faced roadblocks in the Texas House, leadership swiftly suspended the rules this week to pass a resolution recognizing a group with a history of opposing voter integrity measures. Democrat Representative Mihaela Plesa from Dallas authored a resolution to honor the League of Women Voters of Collin County. While that organization claims to be nonpartisan, the group has consistently opposed election security laws, including voter ID requirements. Now, the House's willingness to bend the rules for this resolution follows closely on the heels of another controversial decision, blocking a resolution memorializing Jill Glover, a conservative activist and former member of the state Republican Executive Committee, last week. There was a record vote on this. 28 Republicans voted against it, with more adding their statements in the Journal saying they opposed the measure. The record vote was brought by freshman Representative David Lowe. A new proposal filed in the Texas House is causing significant concern among free speech advocates and legal experts. Legislation by Republican State Representative Mano de Ayala, a Republican, is designed to undermine citizens' First Amendment rights through abusive lawsuits. De Ayala's legislations would undermine the Texas Citizens Participation Act, which shields Texans from expensive lawsuits designed to silence criticism. Known as strategic lawsuits against public participation, or SLAP, these suits have long been used to attack whistleblowers and political opponents. The TCPA is an anti-SLAP shield that keeps frivolous lawsuits out of the courts. Ironically, Texans for Lawsuit Reform has long advocated for degrading the TCPA and putting citizens at risk of drawn-out lawsuits. TLR has provided de Ayala with the bulk of his financial support. We'll be right back.
Why get your news from people who don't share your values? Get news stories from Texas Scorecard. We provide real news for real Texans. Go to TexasScorecard.com today.
An investigation by the Attorney General's office is the latest development in the scandal-plagued Texas Lottery Commission. Ken Paxton is citing suspicious and possibly unlawful lottery winnings involving bulk ticket purchases and third-party couriers. His investigation comes just days after Governor Greg Abbott directed the Texas Rangers to investigate similar concerns, and Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick demanded that probe be expanded. Paxton's investigation will examine whether or not state or federal laws were violated, particularly in cases where large quantities of tickets were obtained in a short period of time. One of the incidents under scrutiny involves the recent $83 million Lotto Texas jackpot, where the winning ticket was purchased through an illicit ticket resale service known as a courier, an industry that Texas officials have now rushed to ban. The Lottery Commission, which until recently insisted they lacked the authority to regulate couriers, reversed course Monday by announcing a statewide ban on courier services. Today's stories were brought to you by Daniel Greer and myself. This episode was mixed by Nick Shepard in the 1836 studios. I'm Brandon Waltons. You can join me with daily headlines every day at 5 p.m. For right now, have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the first news of the day for the Lone Star State. This has been the Texas Minute with your host, Michael Quinn Sullivan.